Hey guys, Wanda Vitale here with another episode of the Empowered Empaths. What is one thing that you can do that will make the biggest difference in your life? I believe it is really slowing down enough to listen to what you're thinking, to listen to this inner chatter that we always have going on in our heads. We're never not thinking. And most of us, until we don't, are saying something like, I should be doing more, I should be pushing. Oh, what if I put this out and I'm not successful? It's the what ifs. What if I get judged? Well, here's the thing. We each speak our reality into existence. What we say is what we experience because our perception is reality. And for most of us who are empaths, if you're listening to this, you are, or if you're an empath or a highly sensitive person, you experienced some trauma as a kid. We all did. Most of my clients, dare I say all of them, have been just like me, abused, raped, adopted, unwanted, you name it. We've been through it all, right? So there's that. And during this lifetime, we are bringing in all of our other aspects, right? Because you're multidimensional. There is no time. You are living parallel lives right now. And so for many of you, you are experiencing the trauma, the fear, all the unresolved stuff from all these other timelines, bringing it into now. And what it looks like is your life. Like, oh my God, I lost my job. My marriage is over and I don't know what to do. I have no money. Many of you are facing these big emotional hurdles. And they can feel like your emotional response is bigger than the hurdle. That's what's happening in the world right now with fear and anxiety. It's just this perfect orchestration to get us to slow down, go inside, and really be aware of, what am I thinking? What am I saying? What am I speaking into existence? What am I putting out into the collective? One of the things that really changed my life, and it does with my clients, is this slowing down enough just to notice what you notice. Notice what you notice, which means be mindful. Notice what you react to. Notice how you respond to situations in your life. Notice what you're saying to yourself. The best thing that we can do when we're tired, instead of trying to push through, is slowing down and then getting some rest. That's the only way that we can listen to the voice of our intuition. Notice if you are worried about anything, if you're worried about your finances, if you're worried about not enough clients, not enough whatever, just notice what you notice. You will find that when things aren't blossoming or booming in your life, it's because you've been more focused on what you don't want. You've been focused on, there's not enough money, I don't have this, I don't have love. You're focused on lack. And we're wired this way. We're wired to notice what's missing from our lives. But that's not how we create a life that we love. We have to notice what we love in order to get more of it. We have to notice the abundance, notice the love, be grateful for every little thing that we do have. Be grateful for things that you take for granted. After my accident, when I got the diagnosis that I would likely not walk normally again, instead of focusing on the diagnosis, I focused on my strength, remembering what it felt like to climb up the mountains. And so my diagnosis was wrong. When I lost everything financially in my life, when I left my marriage and then had the accident when I had no money, it was my process to switch my attention and my inner speech from not what I don't want, what I don't have, and what I was worried about, to just really turning everything over to my higher self and focusing on what I did have. I had a house to live in. I had the ability to breathe. How many of you take that for granted? It's not a given, right? Notice what you notice. Just slow down. Give yourself a morning when you can, and just write down your thoughts. What is a typical morning like for you? How do you start your day? Do you notice yourself saying, I can't do this. I don't know how. What if it doesn't work? Do you feel that? It's this energy of contraction. It's not the energy of alignment with your desires. So be aware of just noticing how you react and respond to life. Notice if you automatically assume that the worst is going to happen. Your assumptions create your reality. Assumptions don't require belief. We assume things, and then we put those assumptions on autopilot. And until we start to question them, we just react. It's like riding a bicycle. Once you learn how to ride a bike, you cannot unlearn how to ride a bike. It's just impossible. You have that muscle memory. I talked to a friend of mine this morning who used to be a tennis coach, and she hasn't picked up a racket in, I think she said 15 years. But her body remembers how to play tennis. And so everything in your life is the same until we slow down and question what we're assuming, until we slow down and question what we're thinking. Nothing can change. We literally can be, do, or have anything. You get to create your destiny. And how do we do that? We choose. We let go of those assumptions that don't serve us, and we make new assumptions. Assumptions don't require belief. So my message today is pretty short. Slow down. Notice what you notice. Notice what stories you're telling yourself. Notice what you're automatically assuming when you should be questioning your assumptions. And a good way to ask is this really true, what I'm assuming? Is it always true with everybody on the planet? Has there ever been an exception to what I'm assuming? You will find that when you ask those questions, the answer is no, that's not automatic, that it's something you learned when you were a little kid, and you've put it on autopilot. We cannot change what we're not aware of. And this work of creating an amazing life, which you're here to do as an empowered empath, you're here to change the world, because everything you've been through is part of the wisdom that you've accumulated, and it's here to serve the world. So slow down. If you feel stuck, if things aren't moving, notice what you notice. Everything is here to serve you. And so a good way to break through to new levels of results in your life is asking, what am I assuming? Questioning the validity of your assumption. And then ask, how is this situation here to serve me? Because it is. I talked to one of my clients last night whose business would seem not to be yielding the results that she's looking for. The lead generation isn't working. And so she's telling herself a story that we're doing something wrong. And I said, is that true? How is it here to serve you? What story are you telling yourself about what's happening? And when we got into it, we realized that a very common belief that so many people have about money is around the law of circulation. And I'll do another video on that. But when things slow down, it's there to get our attention. It's there to say, hey, you've got some story about this, some assumption. And what if that's not true? And she slowed down enough to notice the story that she's telling, which is, oh, our lead generation isn't working. We're doing something wrong. But that's not true at all. What was really happening is that her energy around spending money was contracting. And instead of looking at it like, oh, we're spending this money for lead generation. Oh, I know that the results are coming in. Won't it be exciting to see how the leads come in? Won't it be exciting to see what other ideas come in? We went down that vein into expansion and not contraction. And so that's what we have to do. But we can't do any of that until we just slow down enough to say, what am I telling myself? What story am I telling about reality? Because it's all just a story that you speak into existence. Notice what you notice. It is such a simple tool, but I am telling you, if you just slow down, it is the key to everything that you want, so that you can switch up your behavior, so that you can tell a new story, so that you can align your energy with your vision. All right. Thanks for listening.